following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi everybody, and welcome to La Bella Vita Cucina. First off, I'd like to thank GM Roth for the use of their beautiful kitchen once again today. So today we're going to be making chicken marsala over a mashed cauliflower base. So chicken marsala is a super easy Italian-American dish that is sure to become a staple on your weeknight rotation for dinner. It is a very delectable dish that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. So let's go over our ingredients tray tonight. We have our organic air-chilled chicken. Now I've chosen air-chilled chicken rather than just regular old organic chicken. This is organic air-chilled chicken, if you can say that 5 times. And this meat is very super tender. So if you've never tried it before, certainly try to go pick it up if you can and give it a try. We're also going to be using some baby portobello mushrooms. They're also known as cremini mushrooms, and these are organic. When they're mature, again, they're known as portobello mushrooms when they're really big. We're also going to be using a little bit of mascarpone cheese, which is an Italian cream cheese, some garlic, some fresh parsley that I picked from my garden before the show, some organic shallots. I'm using a little bit of chicken broth. You can use a little bit of chicken stock if you'd like. I'm using a low sodium organic broth. We're also going to be using a little bit of the Marsala wine, which comes from Sicily. Again, this dish is from 19th century Sicily, where Marsala is produced, and a little bit of our extra virgin olive oil. And before we got started, I got my cauliflower steaming up here in my pan, ready to go to be mashed. So while we're cooking our chicken base here, this is going to be kind of steaming up very nicely. And I can tell already because our lid is kind of going down a little bit. So this is going to be fabulous base and a very light base. So I've taken the organic chicken breasts, I've sliced them in half just to get a few more extra pieces of our meat, and seasoned with salt and pepper. I'm going to start off by putting about 2 tablespoons of our extra virgin olive oil in my pan and get this started and heat it up. So give me a moment. There we go, super flame right there. Let's lower that down just a tad. Okay, we're going to make sure our olive oil coats the bottom of our pan. And let's get that going. I also have a little bit of all-purpose organic flour. Now you can use amaranth flour, you can use soy flour, brown rice flour, coconut flour, whatever type of flour you'd like, especially if you like to make it gluten-free. That would be a really good thing to do. We're also going to be just taking a little tablespoon of butter before I put the chicken into our flour. I'm just going to dredge 1 little tablespoon of butter, put it to the side, and we'll do 1 more. And we're going to dredge our piece right over here, and we're just going to set that to the side. So I've seasoned the chicken with some salt and pepper. We're going to just do a little bit more of that. And I'm using a Himalayan pink sea salt. You can use whatever you'd like. Organic sea salt is the best way to go. And a little bit of our cracked pepper on this side. And like I said, I pounded the chicken breasts so that they're nice and tender and they're very thin. So when we go to cook them, after we dredge them in our flour, they're going to be so tender with the marsala. Again, flip it over. And I've used my little meat mallet right over here to do that, but certainly you can take the chicken in between saran wrap and then use a rolling pin and hit it to your heart's desire to get it to the tenderness that you and your family enjoy. So a little bit more of our sea salt and our cracked pepper. Okay, and we're just going to dredge it in the flour. and just shake off a little bit of our excess, and we're going to put it right in our pan. And we're going to do that to all of our pieces. And we can start to hear a nice sizzle, and that's exactly what we want. There we go. We're cooking. Now this is a super easy weeknight dish, served a lot of times in fancy restaurants, and don't get intimidated by it. The first time you make it, you're going to be so impressed with yourself and your ability to make a wonderful dinner, you're going to make it again. And I like all the different shapes of the chicken. All right. These are the little tenderloin parts. And anytime that you're working with chicken, make sure that you wash your hands and your utensils, your cutting board, thoroughly with hot soap and water. Hot water and soap, right? Okay. So we may have to turn up our heat just a little bit, kind of get things shaking and moving here. So we're going to cook the chicken on both sides. I'm just going to add a little bit of a touch more of olive oil, just for this end right over here. Get these little guys over here. Make sure they're coated underneath and don't burn. Check our cauliflower. We're multitasking. That's coming along great. So everybody wants their fair share of space here at the bottom of the pan. We're going to coat it up nicely. And in the meantime, what we're going to do is we are going to take our cremini mushrooms, which, well, like I said earlier, when they're mature, they're known as portobello mushrooms. And we're going to give those a quick slice up and get these ready to go. And usually with the mushrooms, these are actually pretty clean from the package. You can take your dishcloth and just gently wipe off any excess dirt or debris that you may see on your mushroom. But these actually look really nice and clean. We're just going to do a nice little rough chop here, some slices. They are going to cook down to deliciousness. There we go. This is about 8 ounces of mushrooms. And our chickens, you can see our chicken right now, it's actually looking so tender and so wonderful. It's cooking evenly on all sides. The bottom's probably just about ready to be turned as soon as we're done with our mushrooms. And then we'll cook the other side for a few minutes. So when these are immature, they're known as the button mushrooms, the white button mushrooms, which I'm sure you've used many times before. Okay, let's take a quick peek here at our chicken. Browning up nicely under here. You can see that. We're going to flip these guys over on the other side. This will certainly feed a family of 4, maybe with a little leftover for lunch the next day. So we're also just going to add a little bit more of our extra virgin olive oil, just to make sure nothing's burning or sticking to the pan. And you can certainly use also any type of olive oil that's infused with maybe oregano or basil, any flavor that you'd like instead of plain olive oil. This is actually basil infused olive oil, which is adding a nice little different taste here. Good. Awesome. Give a little shake right here. So those are cooking up great. We're going to get a dish. Yep, they're looking good. And we're going to put them right on our plate. And they're nice and thin, so by the time you get to the second side, they've actually cooked pretty quickly. This looks so good. We have our little tenderloin pieces here. For any little ones who just want a small piece of chicken, perfect size. So we're going to put our chicken right over here to rest. We're going to lower our flame down just a little bit. We are going to add in our mushrooms. our first box anyway. And our second one, we're going to cut those up kind of quickly over here. So basically it comes to about 1 pound of mushrooms. And we're also going to be using some shallots. We're going to probably use probably 1 to 2 whole shallots. Now shallots are a lot sweeter, a lot more delicate than onions. You can certainly use onions if you like. So this is just my version of chicken marsala. You can do whatever your little heart desires, whatever your family cares for and will enjoy. That's the bottom line. Everyone wants to have an awesome meal that they enjoy. I'm able to use one of my newest tools to my collection, which is this flat spatula. So I'm really excited to have that. I picked it up at Williams-Sonoma. You can probably find one wherever. Any gourmet kitchen store may have them as well, whatever you have around your area. All right, and let's check out our shallots here. We're going to use our organic shallots and open those up. Usually we do about 2 tablespoons of the chopped up shallot. Let's see what we have here. So we have quite a few mushrooms, quite a few big pieces of chicken. This is going to add amazing flavor. There's one, and we'll use, there we go. So we're just going to give a nice chop, thin slices if you can. All right, we're going to put those in as well. Now we're going to give it a nice little stir. Now there's some bits and pieces on the bottom here from our chicken. So this is going to add amazing flavor. Now we're going to add in about a cup of our Marsala wine. And we're also going to be adding in about a half a cup of our chicken stock. Ooh, it smells so good. The Marsala is so sweet. You can purchase it dry or sweet. This happens to be a dry Marsala right from Sicily, Italy, and it just adds an amazing flavor. So delicious. And we're also just going to add in a little bit of our garlic. Here we go. Probably about 1 clove will do it. If you like garlic, add as much as you like. Just going to give a little rough chop and add it to our mixture. Good. Perfect. All right, so we're going to let this kind of simmer down and reduce down, probably about by half. All right, and let's check on our cauliflower. Looking wonderful. Let's give a little poke here with our little tip of our knife and just see how tender everything is, how it's almost about ready to be mashed. So what I'm going to do is actually turn this flame off and let it sit here for a few more minutes. We're going to raise the flame up of this one just a tad to get it boiling and rolling. Let it start to do its thing. And what you can also do is just add a quick cover to it if you like. It's going to place it right on here and kind of let it do its thing. Next step is going to be, while this is doing its thing, doing its magic, we're going to mash our cauliflower. Now I had steamed it up in a little bit of spring water. Super easy. You're just going to take our potato masher and just mash the cauliflower as you would mashed potatoes. So this will be a nice alternative rather than using fettuccine or pasta or even mashed potatoes with this dish. It adds a very, very light base to it. Very unique, very different, delicious. You're just going to love it. So we're just going to mash it up. That was easy. We're pretty much done. Good. And we're going to add just a little touch of salt, just a little bit flavor to flavor it up. And we're going to cover it. And we're going to check on our mushroom mixture, our Marsala mixture. So our mushrooms are coming up to a nice boil here. Now we're going to add those 2 pads of butter that we dredged in flour earlier. And this is just going to add a little bit of a creamy, silky base to the dish, in addition to just maybe about a tablespoon I'm only going to use here of the mascarpone cream cheese, which is the Italian cream cheese. You can certainly omit this if you'd like, and a little creaminess. So we're going to put that in, kind of swirl it around a little bit, create a light creamy base to the Marsala. So amazing. And so quick. All right, so next what we're going to do is just add our chicken back in. Our dish is almost done. Add our chicken right back in. We're just going to warm up the chicken basically at this point because it is cooked. Just going to heat it through. All right, and I'm going to add the little juices here from the chicken as well. So we're going to heat that through nicely. Next, just going to add a little bit of the parsley from my garden. You can add as much or as little as you'd like, and it adds so much flavor to the dish. It smells so good. The aroma in here is unbelievable. And we're just going to add that right on top. Beautiful, fragrant, quick, delicious. Okay, and we are ready to plate. So we're going to turn this off. This is our Marsala. Here's our cauliflower base. So we're going to take a little bit of our mashed cauliflower, plate it right here. Smells so good. Wonderful. And we're going to take a little bit of our Marsala chicken right here over the top. Let's take another piece right here. Oh, and add some of our mushrooms and our sauce. You are going to love this. And here we have our amazing, delicious, delectable chicken Marsala over mashed cauliflower. I'd like to say thank you again to GM Roth for the use of their beautiful kitchen. I'd like to thank you for joining me here today on La Bella Vita Cucina. Enjoy your food, enjoy your family. See you next time. Bye-bye.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.